Good morning, Veterans Views. Now, we're just having fun this morning. We got our coffee and we're set up. We're going to talk about all the Veterans Views and local and federal and all nationwide issues of what's going on or some new information that we can put out this week, as we do every week on this show on Friday morning at 9 in beautiful Strachan Van Til Studios, WJOB, 1230 AM, 104.9 FM. And we are going to get things started by announcing our very needed and much appreciated contributors that keep this show running, as we are all volunteer servicemen and women here. We continue to do this show for free, and we want to make sure that we emphasize that we appreciate the contributions that keep us on the air and bringing you the news.
Can we get a little introduction on everyone, just so I can get everyone's volumes too?
Yeah. Let's go around the horn here real quick. To my left,
Steve Bramer, the illustrious Steve Bramer.
Steve Bramer. Don't let him be so humble. He is a hero and a scholar in his own right. And we need to make sure that he's got his coffee in the morning so we can get him going and fired up. And then to my right,
I'm Tom Clark. I'm a retired teacher from Lake Central and a veteran of Afghanistan.
okay.
And I'm Scott Swinford. I'm a mortgage lender. I work a lot with our veterans, help them get the entitlement that they've earned to be able to use that to purchase a home.
And we have Leslie that just came in.
Got stuck on Indianapolis Boulevard. I didn't know what was going on this morning. I sat there for about 15 minutes just going about,
Yeah.
30 feet. But
And Leslie, you're a Navy veteran, right?
U.S. Navy.
All right. So here we all can. And my name's Robert. I'm a chief warrant officer in the U.S. Army. We are here to contribute what we can to the cause and to the conversation. So we're going to go ahead and get right into our contributors with Sir Steve Bramer.
All right. We want to thank these people for keeping the show going. We want to thank American Legion, Hammond Victory Post 168. They meet the first Tuesday at 6 p.m., 6849 Columbia Avenue, 219-937-4264. Calumet Breweries, 6535 Osborne Avenue in Hammond. You can reach them at 219-845-2242. Calumet Park Cemetery and Funeral Chapel, always supporting our veterans. 2305 West 73rd Avenue in Maryville. Call for special veteran savings on complete burial packages, 219-769-8803, or the chapel, 219-736-5840. DAV Chapter 17 to meet the first Thursday at 7 p.m. at VFW Post 802, 5820 Holman Avenue in Hammond. DAV Chapter 80, they meet the second Friday, Cedar Lake, American Legion Post 261, 13050 Washington Street, Cedar Lake. You can reach them at 219-386-2282. DAV Chapter 102, they meet the first Friday, Fraternal Order of Eagles, 805 Elm Street in Valparaiso. Doors open at 12 for claims, meeting from 6:30 to 7:30. Then claims will start again till they are done. 219-200-0404. Laborers International Union of North America, 41, Luna, 41. 500 Superior Street, Munster, Indiana. You can reach them at 219-924-7922. Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 721. They meet the second Thursday, 7 p.m. VFW Post 802, 5820 Holman Avenue in Hammond. Family Dental Care. Veterans receive free exams, x-rays, and cleanings, as well as 10% discount on all other services. 7 convenient Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana locations. Chicago's east and south sides, Calumet City, Crestwood, Oak Lawn, Evergreen Park, Munster, Indiana, and their newest and second location in Indiana coming this year to Griffith, Indiana. Call 219-804-9329 to schedule your appointment in Munster or go to www.familydentalcare.com. Schedule at other locations. Ron J. Pressmer Insurance Company for all your insurance needs, auto, home, life, health, business, and more. 7207 Indianapolis Boulevard, Suite 1, Hammond. You can reach them at 219-844-0103. Kuziak Construction, 1235 Summer Street, Hammond, 219-923-3007. The Dave Kuziak Show precedes Veterans Views and airs every Friday from 6 to 9 Central Time. So be sure to tune in, WJLB, Jet TV, 104.7, or 12:30 a.m. for your Friday morning programming. Our news contributor, Heroes Helping Heroes, Northwest Indiana, Heroes Helping Heroes, IN.com, or contact the founder, Rich Tokars, at Realtor Rich T. at gmail.com, 219-670-2501, and 988 is the suicide crisis line if anybody needs it.
What a healthy list of contributors we have.
Yes, it is.
And man, there's so much there that these organizations can offer, all the way from, we got free dental X-rays and cleanings.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that's great. So that is family dental care.
Yeah, and
then-
that's good.
Are you a part of the Military Order of the Purple Heart?
Yes.
Chapter 721.
Yes.
Awesome. So
Yes,
is
sir.
that a healthy organization? You
No.
can imagine there's a lot of Purple Hearts around.
No, there's not a lot left. Not a lot left at all.
Yeah.
They they're slowly dying.
Sure,
off,
and there's
you know?
I'm sure there's few and in between that are currently receiving Purple Hearts.
Well, we had
right?
like 50,000 in the Vietnam War, and then in Iraq, Iraq and Afghanistan was like less than 5,000.
Oh wow. Wow.
So, big
and now
difference.
it's probably it's pretty sporadic depending on where they're at. Maybe,
Oh, yeah.
maybe Syria or if they're supporting in. We talked about this last week on the show. They're sending a couple hundred into Israel. So I mean, there's always wherever there's war. I'd say you got an unfortunate opportunity to catch a Purple Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all for the contributions. And again, we couldn't do this show without you. We've got a couple of topics that we're going to talk about today. First, before we get to our guests, Steve Bramer sent me a article this morning from the Washington Post? Washington Post, and they're really hammering down on some of the, I would say, negative views of the amount of VA disability claims coming through, even in the most recent years. So, I mean, my opinion is that, hey, the military industry, you deserve to be compensated, and not everything is surface level. You can't see it on people's faces, the damage that they received through service, whether that be internal, external, or mental, right? And I think from the outside looking in, when you get a critique in a nationwide source like this, and it's been a hot topic, and I'll let Steve talk to it about it in a second, that these people that haven't served, they don't really truly understand, at the surface level, they're just seeing veterans that work. Well, how are they on disability, but they've got full-time jobs, right? This is not Social Security disability.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a VA disability that you've received permanent injury from your service and contributions and volunteer commitment to the freedom of our country. And I, for one, do not mind a portion of my tax dollars going to it. I am in full support of it. So, Steve, if you would just kind of introduce the listeners and everyone out there to this article that I think is very controversial.
Yeah. It's so the name of this article is How Some Veterans Exploit $193 billion VA Program Due to Lax Control. This is how it starts. Military veterans are swapping the U.S. government with dubious disability claims, including cases of brazen fraud totaling tens of millions of dollars that are exploiting the country's sacred commitment to compensate those harmed in the line of duty. That's how this article starts. Okay?
Yeah, so let's pause on that. And obviously, you got your introductory paragraph that is very, negative towards the community in general. Okay, so, and all of us, I think, have experienced situations where, with our minimalist mentalities, we talk about this almost every show, the minimalist mentalities of the veterans and the veterans community, that, hey, somebody else deserves it more than I. I don't think that I deserve that. And those are the humble heroes, and probably some of the most deservingly heroes that we have. But this is just a direct attack on the surface level view of it, and to V-line to this topic, to say this is an issue is wrong, because there's so many things that we could talk about as far as splendorous, boastful spending of the U.S. government dollars and tax dollars.
Yeah.
And we're focusing on calling out the VA. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. But
Well,
continue.
what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that. So let me go a little further. The Post found that millions of claims are for minor or treatable afflictions that rarely hinder employment, such as hair loss, jock itch, toenail fungus. About 556,000 veterans received disability benefits for eczema, 332,000 for hemorrhoids, 110,000 for benign skin growths, 81,000 for acne, 74,000 for varicose veins. Now, I know some veterans that their whole back is eczema. You know, I get this thing on my hand, my arm, my upper back, my thighs, and it never goes away. You know, the VA would cause it jock itch on my back. You know, I mean, it makes no sense, but they don't understand when you're wearing the same uniform for days on end because you can't get back to the showers.
Right.
Yeah, you know, what's that called when you're sweating in your boot all the time? Your feet get wet.
Athlete's foot.
Yeah. I mean, when you're doing that for 10, 20 years, yeah, that's going to affect you the rest of your life. You know?
And I'll tell you, some of these things aren't. I think some of them are actually applicable to a VA rating. For example, I didn't have a zit on my face in 15 years, and I've just come back 2 months ago, and I not get rid of the zits on my face. I'm 38 years old, and I'm a financial advisor, so I sit in front of clients every single day, and it honestly, I think takes away a bit of my confidence. It takes away a bit of the look when I'm presenting myself as a mature adult that understands finance, right? And when I got zits on my face, they're like, "Who's this kid?" You know. So when it affects your life, I think that there should be, in a way, some sort of compensation. Now, do I have permanent damage on my skin from zits while I was over there? I had to take antibiotics for 9 months straight because I had so many zits on my face from the sand blowing in my face every single day and the heat levels. 9 months straight on an antibiotic in order to prevent it. Because I would wake up, I kid you not, I would wake up with 15 new zits on my face.
Yeah.
So there's something about this that they're trying to minimize some of these claims when there is a real life issue, and depending on where people were in the world or if they deployed or whatever the situation is, right? Eczema, and they didn't have it before they went. I've got eczema in my ears now. I didn't have eczema in my ears, and now it itches all the time, you know? So
That's
I
like
never
benign.
had that before I went over there, you know?
That's like benign growth, okay? But benign growth, when veterans get that, they may get service connection for it, but get 0% for it, which means the VA is acknowledging that something happened in the military that gave you that, but it's not affecting you. That's included in this study then. So they're trying to make it seem like we're getting all this money for issues that we're not getting money for.
But a 0% still acknowledges it gives you the rating, but you don't get paid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that also opens the door to some other benefits, like maybe I know it was with the 0%. Any of the caller calling and correct me, but I think even with the 0% rating in Indiana, you get your kids' college paid for in a 4-year state college. So you can go to Indiana State University or Purdue. It was either 0 or 10.
It used to be like that, and then I think they changed it, and I think they're trying to get that back. I'm not too sure.
It's called Child of Disabled Veteran Benefit.
Yeah.
And I went through 4 years of college. My dad had 10%. But I know a caller called in last year before I deployed and said that you can get it at 0% now. So even
okay.
having the rating
Yeah.
gave the benefit. Unless
Maybe
they've
then.
changed it recently. Callers, please call in 219-845.
1100.
I was going too quick.
I was about to say my own number.
But yeah, we'll continue with this. Steve, is there anything else you want to point out? I'd love for some callers to call in and talk about this, your feelings, your veterans' views on it, because it's very controversial. And in the end, they did make it more of a political spiel. The Washington Post is known for feeling one way or the other regarding politics, and there was a response from the current administration basically saying that it is a political kick to the current administration's support for VA benefits. And you could take it that way, one way or the other. I just think it's distasteful in general without bringing politics into it. If you're on the left or if you're on the right, you should be able to support with full freedom of your taxpayer dollars veterans that have sacrificed their bodies, minds, and
Even
and
if they didn't
livelihood,
deploy.
Right. Like you said, in training. Training's dangerous. We've talked about it on the show many, many times, how many people get injured during training.
Yeah.
Affect their entire lives.
Yep.
You know? So we're going to get to our guests here, and we could spin back to this, but I think that, the VA does so many things for us, including home loans and, different levels of support. So that's why we bring guests on our shows to talk about that. And I want to start with Scott as to, since we're on the VA topic, as to what are some of the benefits as far as real estate that a disabled veteran might get as to just an otherwise veteran, and then try and bring that into a full package for us here on Veterans Views, is to say, hey, listen, you're a disabled veteran, maybe you get a tax deduction on property, maybe you're eligible for a VA loan. Scott, I'll let you take the floor. Introduce yourself as the professional that you are.
Well, thanks, Rick. Again, my name's Scott Swinford. I'm a mortgage lender here. The vast majority of my business is working with our veterans, and that's what gets me up in the morning. That's what makes me feel good about my job, is being able to help folks like you who have sacrificed and served so much for us. But there is quite a bit of benefits for our veterans. Property tax deductions. The state of Indiana gives deductions for veterans. You have to file for them once you close on your home. It's not significant.
Do you have to be disabled to get that deduction?
There is a deduction for disabled veterans as
Okay.
well. However, for the tax year 25, payable 26, they are making some changes to what the deductions are, and I'm not exactly sure how that's going to affect our veterans, but it's not really so much deductions now, it's credits towards the property taxes.
So is credit better than deduction?
Well, it depends on how the numbers work out, to be honest with you. Because the deduction is, let's say that you have a house that's assessed at $200,000 and you get your homestead deduction, your supplemental homestead deduction, your veteran deduction. They may say, well, that's worth $60,000. So you only pay property taxes on $140,000 of that.
Oh, okay.
So what the idea is, and I don't know this in depth. I was on at a meeting at NYRA, our local MLS, and we had talked about it, but it said that there's going to be credits now. So instead of that, say, $60,000 total in deductions, they're going to give you X number of dollars towards what the property tax bill would be.
Okay.
But as far as the VA loan benefits, there are a lot of folks who probably qualify and don't know what they do.
Sure.
And that's where we get our certificate of eligibility from. We reach out to the
Hey,
VA.
Scott, on that note, we got a caller, and we'll get back to the
Okay.
subject if he wants to talk about anything else. You're on the radio there, citizen soldier or veteran.
Hello. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And a special good morning to Mr. Clark. I believe you know my mother, Ina.
Oh, wonderful lady.
Yes. Well, I'm calling to plug a theater play production that I'm in called Tracers. And it's a play about Vietnam. It's written by Vietnam veterans.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's that going to be at?
This is going to be in Michigan City at a theater group called the Holdcraft Players, and it follows six soldiers through basic training. I play the part of the drill instructor. A lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah, my
It sounds like you have the voice for it.
I know.
so-
my character is basically the Arlie Ermy type, and I love that guy.
Oh, I love that guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died way too soon. But yeah, we open actually tonight out there.
Okay,
at,
so Michigan
7
City at the Holdcraft Player.
Yeah, Holdcraft Players, and the play is called Tracers. And again, it was written by Vietnam veterans. Everybody involved with this play, it was conceived back in the 80s, and
Is there something online that our listeners or viewers can hop on and check it out and maybe purchase tickets?
Yes, I've got a website. I left a poster there a couple weeks ago with some of the guys. I don't know if it's still laying around, but the website is yptcinc.com/tickets. The word tickets. That's yptcinc.com/tickets. And again, we open tonight. We'll be on tonight, Saturday. Tonight and Saturday is 7 p.m. performance. Sunday is 2 o'clock matinee. And next weekend, same thing. Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 2. I encourage people to purchase, if they consider going, purchase tickets early because the theater setting holds 80 folks.
Okay.
And, I describe the play as sad, funny, and horrifying.
Okay, all of the genres there.
Wow.
So we have Yankee Papa Tango Charlie Inc.com.
Yes.
All right. Yep. Well, listeners and viewers, get out there and check out this show, and hopefully we hear a good story. And man, I wish I could make it, but I'm heading on vacation. Anybody else?
Oh.
Going to see some history
I would
down
love to see.
Southern Tennessee.
I would.
Oh, we lost you. We got another caller? All right, you're on Veterans Views, caller.
Hey, good morning, everybody. G.I. Joe, G.I. James, citizen soldiers, and America.
Hooah.
Good morning, Ernie.
Oh, how'd you know who
Commander
this is?
Ernie. Know that voice from anywhere.
Hey, a couple of things, and I won't keep you. I know you got a busy show this morning. Just a couple of reminders, and I've called in before about, and you got a perfect subject about those with disabilities and all the things they go through and filing claims and how difficult it is sometimes. But first of all, next Friday, which is the 24th, our Disabilities Commission president and myself, we're going to be on your show to talk about the Lunch and Learn November 21st. And that's Mayor Tom McDermott's program that we do every year. And this year we're sponsoring those with disabilities, and different speakers will talk about all the new things and current things that revolves around that subject. So we're looking forward to doing that, and that's just a reminder for everybody that's listening. And the Appreciation Day Parade that honors all veterans for Veterans Day, and coming up here soon in November is November 1st, and you can call the mayor's office in Hammond if anybody would like to be in the parade and participate. And then after the parade, they go to Hessville Park, and Post 232 assists with a program there that's a good program. And so I guess that's about it. And also, let's be right about flag etiquette. I'm going to throw a question out. So veterans, the Memorial Day, that your flag is half-staffed till noon, and then it goes back up to full. And on Veterans Day, which is coming up, what's the appropriate way to fly the American flag? And will our astute listeners throughout the area answer that question? So I wanted to throw those things out, and otherwise we'll see you next Friday, and keep up the good work.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in, Ernie.
Yeah, thanks, Ernie.
So we got November 21st at the Hammond Sportsplex, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Registration is required by calling Cynthia Rangel as a liaison, 219-853-7311. The Lunch and Learn at the Hammond Sportsplex. Great to be there. Me and Steve and Leslie will be there signing autographs. So,
Hey, I've had hundreds and hundreds of people saying they're going to be there just for that purpose.
hey, you know what? They have to find my basketball card from high school.
And I will leave you with two more things real quick. The speakers that day are going to be State Representative Carolyn Jackson and Lake County Veteran Service Officer Jason Godey, Veterans Views radio show, and that's the host, Steve, and everyone else. And then Rick's Service Dogs is bringing Tracker, That's his number one service dog, Rick Johnson. And then representing Disabled American Veterans, DAV, Patrick O'Donnell. And so with all of that being said, it's going to be a great program. First time we've done this. And do call in to that number, 853-7311 to RSVP. We'll have sandwiches and a small lunch. And I will mention this, too, about some of the DAV things that happened to us in the military. I'm pushing 106 years old, as you know, and the wars I've been in are numerous. And actually, I'm a United States Air Force Vietnam era war veteran. And I volunteered for one of these things. And you could talk about this at one of your shows or other shows. What we do as military personnel when you're in the military are things like volunteer for stuff. And they had a program when I was in boot camp to volunteer for testing. And they've tested us military veterans, not knowing at 18, 19, 20 years old what you're getting into. And I had some ramifications bounce back at me, a rash, from that testing in boot camp back in the 60s. And henceforth, it's still with me, and I filed claims, and they denied. You brought that in with you and all this and that. But those are things in the military that people don't think about and know about, that we serve as guinea pigs and not even knowing.
Yeah.
And the effects from all of that later on in life, you never know what it might be. But anyway, having said that, I'll let you get back to your program and keep up the good work, gentlemen. And you got a good guest there today.
Yeah, thanks, Ernie. We are going to get back to it. Of course, Ernie's been around forever. He said 109 years. He was actually there in September 18th, 1947, when the National Security Act separated the Air Force from the Army. He was there. He was a part of the signature group that made that happen. So I think he was already like a lieutenant colonel. So he'd probably been in for 30 years at that point. But yeah, so lots of good stuff there, and that's what this show is all about, bringing the good information out. So we were talking a little bit about some of the VA benefits that you can get from in a real estate aspect and getting your homes set up. So Scott, go ahead and continue with that. I want to get to the next topic here. We're going to get to our next guest, but finish out with what we were saying. Here's a good question. Is it depending on your rating how much tax credit you get on your property taxes? Because I know that, at least I thought, that if you're 100% disabled, you get a bigger tax credit than if you were just partially disabled. Do you know the answer to that?
I don't have a definitive answer. What I can tell you is that there is an additional amount that you get credit or additional deduction for 100% disability. But I don't remember the number.
Well, it used to be like that. Didn't they change that this last year?
Well, I think what happened is there is still, as far as I know, up until property taxes 25 payable 26, or I'm sorry, 26 payable 27. That's still on there. But the thing about it is that there's a cap on the assessed value. So if your assessed value is more than, I want to say it's like $190,000, you don't qualify for that, even if you have a 100% disability. I know there is a website through the state of Indiana. You can look it up and see what it is. I don't have the exact numbers, but I know it's pretty low. So a lot of our 100% disabled veterans don't qualify for that. But the thing about the VA loan benefit, though, is what we do is we pull a certificate of eligibility. It's kind of like Willy Wonka's golden ticket, if you will. So it tells you if you're eligible and what your entitlement is, if you used it before, if you've had a past foreclosure, things like that. So we always get a certificate of eligibility, and that tells us if you're entitled to a VA loan. You still have to qualify debt to income wise, residual income, which is unique to the VA program, all the other things that we do. But what you had brought up, Steve, and to kind of circle back on it, is there are benefits for our veterans if they have a service-connected disability. And so VA loans don't have monthly mortgage insurance. They don't have upfront MI like FHA or conventional loans do. They have what they call a guarantee fee. If you don't have a service-connected disability, that VA fee is 2.15% the first time use and 3.3% subsequent use. So if you don't have a service-connected disability, you buy your second house at $300,000, that's a little over $10,000 out of pocket that it costs you. Now we can wrap that into the loan, but still it's taking away from the equity of your property.
Yeah.
So I always encourage folks, if they believe that they have a connected disability, and like what you guys were saying, even if it is ankle pain or foot pain or ringing in the ears or all the other things that you guys had mentioned, at least get in and file the intent to file. Because if you file that today, and let's say you close on your house in 3 months, you're still going to pay for it. It's going to be wrapped up into your loan amount, or you can pay it in cash if you'd like to. But if your claim comes back and they backdate it to before the date you closed, they will refund that for you.
Oh. Okay.
So it's always worth, doing the intent to file.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and the intent to file is basically just starting the claim process.
Correct.
So that's awesome. I didn't know that part.
So Scott, and you're again, to restate what you do for a living, for our viewers and listeners out there that might want to reach out to you, how do we get a hold of you? And again, it seems like you're a subject matter expert in this field. So what can our veteran community and citizen soldiers do to get a hold of you?
Well, you can certainly give me a call. Best number to reach me is 219-695-0369. Or if you go to my website, there's all kinds of places you can contact me. It's AmericanHeroHomeLoans.com.
Okay.
And even if you Google my name, it'll pull up probably 30 different things there. So it's not hard to get hold of me. I'm pretty easy to get in touch with.
Awesome.
I have a question. Okay. I got a question that it's bothering me, and I may sound dumb asking this, okay? So bear with me. So I was looking recently because I was looking for either buying or renting. So when I was looking at renting, the prices are like $2,500 to $3,000 for some of these like regular homes in Hammond, right? So what I don't understand is if somebody has a loan on a house that they've had for years, that mortgage payment doesn't go up, right? Why would the rent go up that they're charging, but what they're paying on the house doesn't?
Well, if they have a
Does that make
fixed
sense?
rate-
Bit of gouging
yes,
there,
okay. Yeah, if they have a fixed rate mortgage, the principal and interest payment should not go up. It should be the same for the length of the loan.
Yeah.
However, the property taxes very well could go up, and insurance can very well go up.
Yeah, but not so significant that they raise it thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody got a loan on a 2-bedroom flat in Hammond in 2019, they got a 3% rate, and their house cost them $100,000. They're paying like $800 a month.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I'm just spitballing some numbers here, but for them to charge $2,500, that's just sheer gouging.
So another thing I noticed was every rental that I went to, not one of them had an owner. They were all owned by these, I don't know, companies or these,
Oh,
Groups, they're investment groups. Who buys blocks of homes,
yeah.
and they rent them out like that.
We're seeing a lot more of that lately.
Yeah.
I literally every house that I went to was like that.
Right. Yeah, and
that's a
the
tough
benefit
situation.
to buying, if I can again push that, is on the property taxes in Indiana, the property tax cap is 1% of the assessed value plus any referendums or anything. But if it's an income property like a rental, it's 2%. So potentially the property taxes on the rental that you're looking at could be twice as much as what they would be if you owned the
Gotcha.
property. So that's again
okay.
part of
Maybe
the
what
reason it's a
reason
little
why,
higher.
if they have it set up as a rental.
Because the assessed value goes up, so then the taxes go
Yeah.
up.
Well, it's because you don't get that homestead exemption.
Yeah.
I get it on my house, but if I own a rental property, I don't get that exemption. It's capped at 2%.
Yeah.
So that
All good and
Okay.
relative information to
Thank you. Congrats to
the
that, 'cause
disabled
that'd be
veteran
killing me.
community. Yeah, I think that that's why we have our experts on the show, is to educate us and to show our viewers and to explain to our listeners the benefits that you may be missing out on. So please get a hold of Scott and get your questions answered. So we're going to move on to Tom Clark. And Tom, you've been on the show before. You've done so much in your career and lifetime for the U.S. military and the veterans community. What can you talk to us about today?
Well, I read the Washington Post article, and I'm a disabled American veteran. I was in the military from 76 to 79. I started teaching at Lake Central, and thanks to this young man that's sitting here, Steve, and a Vietnam vet named Tony Gutierrez. I was in Afghanistan from 06 to 07. I came back. In 09, I went out to the VA. I said, nah. Then finally, Tony Gutierrez, I want to say he practically dragged me to the VA out there in Crown Point. And what had happened when I was in the military in Afghanistan, when I was preparing to go, in fact, this is really weird. I was 51, 52 years old, and the Army wouldn't take me, but the National Guard took me. And when we were in training at Atterbury, in fact, the unit I was with was the fastest mobilized unit in Indiana history, I guess, from what I hear. We were in a convoy, and I was a driver, and they put a simulated roadside bomb off to the side of us, and our vehicle had stopped, and you never stop. You just don't stop. My passenger got out. My first command sergeant major got out of the back. He was playing the part of a private, and they let loose with they said 4 pounds of C4, but it was 11 pounds. And it just blew those guys right off their feet. My gunner, he has lost 100% of his hearing in his right ear.
Oh.
It took me and slammed me into the door, and I couldn't hear out of my ear for 2 days. But I thought, I'm not going to tell them because they're going to say, you're not going. Because they made me sign a waiver that I could only go in for 1 year. That was it. And I don't know why. I just desperately wanted to go. I feel it was something, a necessity. I taught U.S. history. This is something, I'm proud that I went. I'm proud. Mm-hmm. And we were deployed, and I was sent, they broke us up, this Indiana National Guard unit. They broke us up and sent us all over Afghanistan. Well, I was with 13 soldiers that were sent to Jalalabad on the Pakistani border. And I didn't know anything about burn pits until I talked to the vets and stuff. And there was a burn pit not too far from where I was at. And then there were occasions when we were down in the burn pit. Some soldiers didn't show up for duty, so they made me take the place of these guys. And the Afghans, garbage men, they took me down in the burn pit. They would not let me get out of the truck. The truck was covered with flies. But I've been in the burn pits. And because of these vets, really, I have problems. I went out on the road over 225 times on missions in Afghanistan. Knock on wood, if this is wood. never seen roadside bombs, but never actually been hit by one. I think my vehicle was covered with angels, and but I see when I drive, I see the road different than people. I've explained this to my wife, who I went with this wonderful woman from like 8th and 9th grade. We went together, never been apart except for the little part in the 70s, and then now going to Afghanistan. I can't believe she let me go. She told me, she said, why could I stop you? You're going to go anyways. And I wanted to go so bad, so desperately, and I wanted to go outside the wire. I did not want to be a fobbit. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry about that, but but it's hit me. I look at the road different. If I hit rough pavement, one day I reached down for my rifle. My wife goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Oh, scratching my leg." Now here's something about the VA. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic syndrome, and it's because of what I experienced. I've kicked my wife out of bed 2 times. I have nightmares and things like that. And I don't know. It's probably a lot my fault because I put myself in those situations. I could have stayed on the base, never gone out, but I wanted to go out and I wanted to see what was going on, and I was proud of what we did. But I got 50% for that, and I got 10% for the hearing because I have tinnitus from that explosion. I'm just, and when I got the rating, I was like, and this is because of people like Steve and people like Tony Gutierrez pushing me to do that, and I'll tell you what, it really helped because I went to the VA and then I went over to the vet center, and there was a young lady there named Maritza Perez who talked to me and really helped me because I call out cars, I call out vehicles. My wife, it's changed me as a person.
Yeah.
Getting these benefits and helping, and I did not when that money came. I did not want that money. I said no way, no way, and I'd use that money as Steve does and Tony and all these other vets. Love them. I love it because just the other day I just gave $100. I sent $100 here and there and stuff like that. I don't, it's a good feeling. I turn it back into the museum, Veterans Museum I have in Cherville. But that's my story. And I was appalled by the article because, believe me, I'm not faking it. In fact, last night I was at a town board meeting for Dyer, and there was a guy in there that was, a little unhinged in a way. And I could tell he had PTSD. He was 10th Mountain Division as I was. And I went out in the hallway and talked to him and stuff like that. And I invited him. On November the 6th at Lake Central, even though I'm retired, still we run one of the greatest veterans programs you can imagine for Veterans Day. And I invited him to come there and see it and see that stuff. And in fact, he's 40%. And I could tell he had PTSD. My daughter, who is the head medic of Indiana, she's a senior NCO advisor for the state surgeon, Master Sergeant Jenny Clark. I can tell when I talk to her, she has PTSD. She's been in Iraq 2 times, but she won't file. And I'm insisting that she needs the help. She needs the help. And that's what the DAV does, and the VA. They make sure that veterans that have problems really get the help and compensation. Yes, I understand there's probably some people on the edge that, maybe falsify stuff or whatever, but overall, you can't believe that the article is just appalling. I find it.
It says in there 1 in 60 veterans make over $250,000 a year.
No,
I call BS on that.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know not one veteran that makes over $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not talking about from disability payment. You're just talking about regular jobs. Yeah.
So you are in charge of. Well, I don't know if you're in charge still, but you help with the program at Lake Central for Veterans Day, right?
Right. I started the program years ago with Colonel Bagley, and he was a principal at the school, and it's built up and up and up. Last year we had about 450 veterans there. We had 3,000 plus students in the auditorium. We had bagpipes, speakers.
Wow.
Yeah.
This year we have William Taylor, the individual that wrote the book on automatic fire, the Marine that got 3 Purple Hearts in Vietnam, and he's our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker in the past has been Pat O'Donnell, who's been one of our greatest speakers ever. He gets those kids really fired up.
Yeah, he does.
That's
but
awesome.
I love going to the DAV, as Steve will tell you. I like going there because it's a real meeting. There's people there that are in need. They are in definite need. And all of us getting together and stuff, it's a camaraderie that it's therapy.
Yeah.
It's therapy.
And I'll tell you from my current experience, because, your daughter, Master Sergeant Clark, has been in, you said 18 years?
18 years. She has 2 years to go.
And has she been full-time the whole time? or traditional?
Well,
Some of the
according
time.
to her, she has 26 years, but she has 18 good years.
Full years.
Full
Oh,
years,
yeah. So that's where it becomes tough because I'm 17 years, mostly traditional, which is 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the summer, other than deployments. That's where I got my active time. Now, for me, I can start a claim now and potentially still have and fulfill the rest of my career as traditional 1 week in a month guy, right? Somebody that's currently active, right? You file the claim now. What could happen? I'm not saying this always happens. What could happen? Sometimes the payments can coincide with your check, and you'll either get your guard check or your VA
Right.
check, depending on what's bigger. But the Army could then, at that point, kind of start processing you out on a medical process. And
Yeah.
it in certain instances, I can't speak to one side or the other, but certain instances, it's not good, especially in a full-time capacity, because you could lose that full-time potential. Now, when she crosses that finish line of the 20-year
20.
mark, and she can get both the pension and the DA, I know this because I just went through a retirement brief for when I was separating from deployment, because I'm at 17 years, that the magic number is 60%. DA disability, I keep saying DA, VA disability. So if you get 60% VA rating, then you can get 100% of your pension from the U.S. military.
Oh.
If you get less,
okay.
say you get a 50% VA rating, then what they'll do is they'll subsidize or take away from your pension. So in order to get 100% of both, 60% is the magic number.
I didn't know
so
that.
in her capacity, she's probably waiting to that 20-year mark to even roll that out, you know.
She's told me that she explained something I didn't know. She said that what they do when they retire, they get one of two ways: long-term disability or short-term disability. And this is the way she is. She won't even apply for it, and she needs it.
Yeah.
She really needs it. She has shoulder problems, and she 3 people have told her she has PTSD.
I'm sure she does.
You know,
Couple deployments
yeah.
in Iraq.
She's telling me things. She was combat medic in Iraq. She's told me things that she wouldn't talk to me about years ago. And she's just recently, she said she was at Mystic and they were doing a testing of medics and stuff, and she had stripped off her rank and she got right back in there. And she had lost a patient because she didn't have the proper equipment to save him. And she said, "Dad, I don't know, it really bothered me." I mean, this is flashbacks for her, you know. And I'm like, wow. I know before I went to Afghanistan, she had been in Iraq. She was sitting up on the front porch, and the A-10, Warthogs, the tank killers, came flying over. They were practicing for the Whiting Parade. And I turned, and she was gone. She was gone. And I went in and asked my wife, I said, "Where's Jenny?" I went upstairs. She was crying. And she said, "Dad," she says, "it's just all this stuff of when I hear those jets and stuff like that, she knows something bad's going to happen."
Something's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, but she's a tough little cookie. I was telling Rob that when I was in
Well, for an 18-year combat medic, that's a tough job. Yeah. I did CLS training for our most recent deployment, and just CLS is not Mystic, obviously.
No.
But it's tough.
Yes, it is.
You got to be strong. You have to know how to, get people on their side. You got to know what
insert
rib.
an IV.
Yep. You got to know what rib to shove the lung opener vial through. Like it's pretty tough. And the Mystic training he's talking about is called medical simulation training. And they go through rigorous in the field training to get these medics up to speed. So God bless her. And when she gets to that 20-year mark, send her over to Steve. Steve will get her hooked up with the DAV and everything, just like you.
Yeah, she said she when she's going to get her 20, she's going to get out, but I don't think she will. She loves it too much.
Yeah, they always say that.
I might stay in too. I don't know. I keep saying the same thing.
She loves her medics.
Yeah, so thanks for bringing up and kind of spinning it all into this topic that we've been talking about on the show, this Washington Post article that really minimized the capacity of the VA disability program in this country. and how important it is for us to rally together with organizations like the DAV and the American Legion and the VFW to be on Capitol Hill in such strength and numbers to represent the veterans community that truly needs these benefits. That's what this show is all about, is making sure that we rally the citizen soldiers and veterans and current service members as a united front to push forward on the benefits that we deserve and that we've fought for in the past and need to continue to fight for moving forward, so that articles like this don't gain traction and that we lose what we've earned. Okay.
I called this. I
yeah.
said this. When peacetime comes, that's when they start coming for your benefits.
Yeah.
Because they don't need us no more.
Yeah. And
It is sad.
It is sad. It's minimalization of we have such short-term memories in this country.
Oh,
and you being
yeah.
a U.S. history teacher, and I mean, it's just you go back to name any war. I mean, just talk about the War of 1812, right? And that you think the War of 1812 was the war in 1812. The War of 1812, we were still fighting against the British. They came back to try to get us again.
Yeah.
You know, people forget that stuff. That's only a century and a half ago.
Yeah.
So
it is. Hey,
2 centuries
put
ago,
it like
I guess.
that.
And that's one of the. We had a National Guard general, Andrew Jackson, led the fight down in Louisiana against the British, and he didn't have to fight very much, because when the British got off their boats, the alligators started eating them. So, but no, he's the hero of the bayou down there, and so that tells you that no matter what military branch you're from, there's so much history. Air Force, back when Ernie started the Air Force in 1947, and then you got your National Guard generals, fighting the British in 1812, and you got George Washington grabbing a bunch of rebels together from the state militias and fighting the biggest army in the world. All the stuff stems back to, hey, where are we at now, right? From World War II, we still have World War II veterans here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an
Not
incredible
many,
feat,
but
right?
still
An
some.
incredible feat, the greatest era. And, our Korean vets, our Vietnam vets, our desert. I was overseas with a Desert Storm vet. My CW5 was Chief Warrant Officer 5.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he sat next to me the whole deployment, and I just
That's
absorbed his mentorship, as a CW2. And, hey, Desert Storm vet, man, sitting right next to me. He was there as a Marine in 1992, so. He's like, this ain't the first time I've been to Kuwait. I'm like, okay, tell me about it, Chief. But these are the guys, and he particularly is one of the people that is a humble hero, and oh God, he's got so much.
You
stuff.
said CW5?
Yeah, he's a unicorn.
Those are like the smartest guys in the world, aren't
yeah,
they?
he's like equivalent. Him and the generals are like high-fiving and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. But he's one of the humble heroes that's like, there ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm like, man, you've been in the Army for like longer than I've been alive. He joined in 86. I was born in 87.
87.
And he's got so
awesome.
much stuff wrong with him. But we're gonna have to drag him to the VA too when he's done. And that's what it is, So we need to continue to fight the good fight and push forward, and that's what this show is all about, is bringing that information to our listeners and viewers and citizen soldiers out there. Because even if you've never served, you can make a difference, because you can appreciate how important it is that we are a free country and how important it is that we need to stay together. And there is no more, I think right now, it is so important for us to stick together as a community and as a country, because everything wants to pull us apart. Everything, whether it's this article that made it political, right, and said, hey, this is the left versus right thing, or if it's just what's going on in your own hometown in Hammond or Griffith or Munster, wherever you live. There's so much that can pull us apart when we need to stick together, and we need to stick together for good causes like this. So we're going to go around the horn, and we're going to do last call. And, I encourage all of our guests here today to spew out some good, inspirational information to our listeners and viewers out there, and carry this show with you for the rest of the week, knowing that we have people that are in the right places that are going to fight for you and give you the information that you need and support us moving into the future. So, Steve, we'll start with you.
Have a good weekend. Thanks for coming in, everybody.
Thank you.
And, I encourage everybody to read the article and then email the interviewers or whatever they're called.
Yeah. And that's Washington Post article, right?
Washington Post,
Okay.
from October 8th.
All right, Tom Clark.
I just want to say to all the veterans out there, thank you. Your stories and stuff have inspired me and inspired a lot of young people in this country.
Hey, so real quick, how do vets go to the Lake Central thing if they want to?
Okay, on the 6th of November, please go. You will not be disappointed. There's free breakfast. Breakfast is from 7:40 to 8:45, and then the ceremony starts at 9, and it goes to 10:30.
And they don't have to sign up. They could just go.
Just walk in.
Okay.
Walk in, and if you have any problems, you ask for me, and I'll slap somebody silly.
I like it.
But you want it'll make you feel good to see how the kids, they have so much respect for veterans. I saw something last year that just blew me away. Tom Bainbridge. Here's a Steve knows him well. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that's a Vietnam vet, and he won't go to the VA, and he needs to go to the VA, and we're going to have to drag him there. Yeah. But last year at the ceremony, he was singing the Star Spangled Banner, and the mic went out. All 3,000 of those kids started singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, cool.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
That's
it.
And all it takes is for us to, touch these kids.
Influence
these kids. These kids don't know anything about.
Yeah, that's a beautiful sentiment, Tom. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, next in line here. We got some final words.
Yeah. Hey, once again, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you guys. Veterans Views, we talk a lot about veterans, and I think that's the focus of a lot of when it sounds like what I talk about. But, it's also our active duty folks. Remember everyone deployed, Red Fridays. We wear red on Fridays because we want to remember.
You told me I need to wear that.
We want to remember the folks who are currently servicing or in service now, who are currently deployed or who are just active. And the other thing is, too, we oftentimes forget about the families that are left behind. And like I talked to Robert's wife a couple weeks ago. That's got to take a lot out of you to be a service member's family, to a husband or wife or child or parent while they're deploying. So I appreciate everything that you and your families are doing. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And Leslie, you got any last words here?
I don't know. Can you all hear me?
Well,
you don't have a mic?
There you go. Yeah, pass the mic.
There you go.
Pass the mic. I would like to wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Be safe. God bless to all. Salute to all veterans, all active duty, and especially my lady active duty and veterans.
Absolutely.
Salute to all of you.
Absolutely, yeah. Men and women of service, you cannot compare to the contributions that you've done to this country and our freedoms, and we are forever grateful and have dedicated our time and our futures to support all of that you've done to retain our freedoms. So we here at Veterans Views will say continue mission, and Charlie and Mike forward. We appreciate you listening, and we hope that you have a good week and keep the Star Spangled Banner and the Stars and Stripes at the top of your mind. Yes. Hooah.
Hooah.